Right now at 10, a winter plan for the homeless. The La Crosse mayor says some people may still be out in the cold. And help wanted recruiters for the new La Crosse Hy-Vee say they're well on the way to hiring a full staff and setting an opening date. Plus, Prost. We now know the identity of this year's Oktoberfest Festmeister. He and his Frau are ready to spread cheer to festgoers with 2 and 4 legs.
You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 10.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for News 8 Now at 10. I'm Amy DuPont. Ken is off tonight. The city of La Crosse is moving forward with a new plan to house the local homeless population for the winter. But as the mayor told our Rob Romano, it is not likely the city can help everyone in need.
On Wednesday, La Crosse Mayor Mitch Reynolds announced plans that the city and a variety of local organizations have made to house the homeless this winter. But even he admitted the efforts might not be enough.
There's a very high likelihood that this winter will include dozens and dozens of individuals sleeping unsheltered on the streets of our community and surrounding communities.
The city's plans to house the homeless this winter include, in part, working with local organizations to maximize shelter space, diverting people to indoor living options such as helping them make arrangements with family and friends, and contacting local houses of worship to see if they're willing to take people in. The mayor says that if local police find a homeless person on the street, they should set them up with assistance.
As long as I am mayor of the city of La Crosse, we will not criminalize homelessness. That will not be something that we do.
It remains a possibility that Mayor Reynolds could use an emergency decree to deal with the homelessness issue, but he says that's a last resort that would only take place if local organizations told him it was necessary.
To take advantage of that last resort contingency, I would need to issue an emergency decree, and so I will rely on them to tell me when we're at that point.
I asked Mayor Reynolds about any efforts from the city to help the homeless population find jobs.
I don't know if we have companies that have come forward and offering jobs. I guess if there are companies out there who would like to offer jobs to individuals who are unsheltered in this community, I invite them to do so.
In La Crosse, Rob Romano, News 8 Now.
Now, Mayor Reynolds acknowledged the city did not reach its summer goal of finding housing for at least 40 people. However, it did help about 25 individuals. Next month, the full council will vote on a proposal to purchase and renovate a property on Monitor Street for affordable housing. However, in the event of an emergency decree, Mayor Reynolds says it, along with the Northside Policing Station, the Southside Neighborhood Center, and a number of other locations, could be used to house the homeless. Boy, fall is here, and Eric, it came here in a hurry. I felt we flipped the page from, the official start of fall, and it started to really feel like it. Today was no exception.
Oh, absolutely. And if you like today, I think you're going to like the next several days. Take a look at the advisory map, though, because we do have a couple of things to talk about. First of all, frost advisory is in effect from Buffalo County down to Alameda County over towards Richland County. So the area is shaded in that light blue. This starts at 1 a.m. and goes until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. The area is shaded in that teal color. That is a freeze warning in effect for Jackson County, Monroe County, Juneau, and Adams County. Again, this starts at 1 o'clock in the morning and goes until 8 a.m. Right now, we're seeing temperatures in the 30s and 40s. Black River Falls, you're already at the freezing mark, 32 degrees, 34 in Sparta, as well as Volk Field, Decorah. Good evening to you guys. You're at 45, 44 in Preston. Made it into the 50s and 60s today, so very fall-like across the area. Which is where we should be for this time of year anyway. It is fall after all, so not bad. Our average high for this time of year is 70. We have a clean sweep on the radar scan right now. This is going to get a break for the next 6 days. We do have a rain chance in the forecast, and that's next Wednesday, and we'll talk more about that coming up in the first forecast in a few minutes. Over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Eric. Well, Black River Falls police need your help, and they need some help for the community. In August, vandals broke windows and damaged construction materials and sprayed fire extinguisher foam inside 4th Street Elementary. Police say they do have suspects, but now they're asking people with information, including social media posts, to come forward. You can call the police department or you can submit a tip on the city's website. You're going to find those links at news8000.com. In today's job market, workers have the upper hand. According to an August Department of Workforce Development report, there are roughly 72,600 jobs available in La Crosse and not nearly enough people to fill them. News 8 Now's Emily Haugen spoke with a local employer who's found a workaround.
Help is wanted. You can see that in hundreds of signs lining roadways and storefronts.
I know as a state, we are facing a worker shortage as a whole. And I think it is a long-term problem, actually.
These days, the market is driven by job seekers.
That really puts pressure on those business who couldn't afford the wage increase.
But with those big gaps, opening something new could be a risk.
The best advertising tool we have right now is the word of mouth.
Work is nearly done at the new Hy-Vee in Onalaska.
Currently, we're looking to add around 600 jobs to the area.
Surprisingly, for store director Dan Welsh, hiring that 600 hasn't been so tough.
Currently, we're about 70% staffed.
He thinks the success comes from the novelty.
People want to be kind of in the ground roots of getting into a company the first time they get there.
Building something new from the ground up.
Unemployment rate is at 2.7%. It's the people who are actively looking for jobs and still not employed.
And as that 2.7% searches, their options are plentiful. In Onalaska, Emily Haugen, News 8 Now.
For many job seekers, it's not about the place you work for, it's the benefits. And bigger chains often have the resources to provide benefit packages that smaller employers might not. The new Hy-Vee location is set to open mid-October. However, they haven't set an opening date in stone just yet, so stay with us for those updates. Well, September is Workplace Development Month, and the Department of Workforce Development is hosting open houses around the state. The La Crosse office held a resume and skill building workshop today. If you missed it, organizers say people can access this kind of help at the La Crosse Center year-round.
One of the benefits of connecting with job centers is really having the ability to connect with a number of different services, referrals to a lot of training and other things.
The La Crosse Workforce Development Center is open Monday through Friday from 8 in the morning until 4:30 in the afternoon. Well, the secret is out. We now know the identity of this year's Oktoberfest Festmaster. He is, there he is, Douglas Kratt. Kimberly Kratt is his Frau. The Kratts are veterinarians and they own Central Animal Hospital in Onalaska. The Kratts have been involved with Oktoberfest for years and they're excited to have the chance to bring a bit of La Crosse to their future appearances as part of the royal family.
I served on the board of directors, so we would volunteer, helping set up for Fest, seeing what's behind the scenes, bartending, doing what's needed so that we can show the La Crosse area and show people from outside the La Crosse area everything we have to offer in this region.
And the couple will bring Gemütlichkeit to parades all over the La Crosse area, the Twin Cities, and even Canada. And the La Crosse PD wants to make sure that you know how to stay safe while celebrating this Oktoberfest. Officers are going to hand out I'm at my best at Oktoberfest buttons. You see it there during the Maple Leaf Parade. Those buttons have a QR code on the back and users can scan the code to reach an official safety page with information on the 3rd Street aid station, parking, public transportation options, and other safety tips.
It really allows us to kind of build a relationship with people who are here enjoying themselves. But at the same time, they can utilize the information through the QR code to be safe.
So if you don't get a button during the Maple Leaf on Saturday, you can find that code on banners all over the Maple Leaf Parade route. Chief Couturon says officers will also be handing out business cards with that same code. So as we all know, the Oktoberfest excitement is certainly in the air, but La Crosse police want you to hold your horses. Remember, it is illegal to park vehicles, place ropes or stakes or any other things in the public right-of-way space at all times. Of course, that means that you can't put your couches, chairs or other items along the Maple Leaf Parade route until the day of the parade. If you do, officers say you will pay the price.
People get so excited for the parades that they want to put their items out early, and they just need to remember that they cannot do that until midnight prior to the parade.
The fine, $124. That's a lot of beer money, so don't waste it on that fine. To avoid the fine, and you heard the officer say, wait until midnight on Saturday to set up your spot. And of course, when the parade is over, police want you to remove those items immediately. Well, WKBT is proud to bring you the Maple Leaf Parade right to your living room. Our broadcast starts at 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. You can watch on MyTV, which is channel 8.2, on Charter, that's channel 6, and on CenturyLink, it's channel 10. And Jordan Fremstad and I are going to be your hosts for that parade, and we hope that you will join us. Still ahead, the U.S. is warning citizens in Russia to get out. Tensions are rising after an apparent underwater sabotage.
Ron Johnson and China.
Here's how it works. While in the Senate, Johnson made $57 million from a family business whose growth was directly linked to China. He invested in Chinese factories, and Johnson's family business got $50 million in loans from the Bank of China. Johnson pushed for shipping American jobs overseas while he got rich. Ron Johnson's out for himself, not us. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each Butterburger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
The power to change your future is now. The SUVs are here. Be one of the first to drive a new Explorer, Bronco Sport, or Edge. Custom order your SUV today. Lock in 2.9% financing for 60 months, plus 500 retail order bonus cash on a new 2023 Ford Explorer, Bronco Sport, or Edge.
Thank you for watching News 8 Now, our community, your station.
Natural gas pipelines are the latest flashpoint between Russia and Western Europe. 2 pipelines started leaking yesterday after apparent underwater explosions. European Union officials suspect sabotage, prompting the U.S. to issue a new warning for Americans in Russia.
The U.S. Embassy in Russia is warning Americans in the country to depart immediately as the war in Ukraine enters a new phase. The message comes as Russia begins a draft of its citizens. The State Department says dual U.S. citizens could be forced to enlist, with Russia refusing to acknowledge their American citizenship. Satellite images show a growing number of Russians trying to flee, creating long lines of cars waiting to cross the border.
I support all good people standing up in a principled way.
This comes as an investigation is now underway into suspected sabotage of the Nord Stream gas pipelines running from Russia to Germany under the Baltic Sea. Video shows the aftermath of what's believed to be underwater explosions and 3 leaks discovered around the same time.
It is not a coincidence. It was planned, well planned.
The Biden administration's national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, says the U.S. will support the investigation and will continue work to safeguard Europe's energy security.
Putin has weaponized energy, and we have said this many times before. This just drives home the importance of our efforts to work together to get alternative gas supplies to Europe.
The president of the European Commission says any deliberate disruption of active European energy infrastructure is unacceptable and will lead to the strongest possible response. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
John Kerry, the special envoy for climate, said this morning the leak is releasing a huge amount of methane, and he says unburned methane is 20 to 80 times more damaging to the environment than CO2. Well, still ahead, blackout. Hurricane Ian is knocking out power to more than 1 million Florida homes and businesses, with winds in the Sunshine State topping out at 150 miles per hour.
And in the world of weather, we have temperatures in the 30s and 40s right now, and we have advisories on the map, and we'll talk about that on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
Thank you for watching News 8 Lacrosse. Here are tonight's winning Powerball numbers.
When we got pregnant with Lizzie, we were so excited. So when the complications started, it was really scary.
We never considered ending the pregnancy, but those are the kinds of decisions only a family can make. But Derek Van Orden wants the government to do it, banning all abortions, even when a woman's life is at risk.
I'm Betty.
I'm Lizzie.
And I'm Brad Paff. I approve this message because I'll never stop fighting for your right to choose.
Why roll the dice with an unproven contractor?
With over 27,000 projects completed, your home improvement company has a proven track record. So be confident that your project will be done right the first time. For the month of September, we are offering 10% off windows, roofing, and bathrooms. So call or go online to book your free estimate and take advantage of our rock bottom interest rates as low as 2.99% or financing for 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments until 2024. Your home improvement company, where it's your home made better.
It's a pattern we can't ignore. Multiple women accuse cop Dave Estenson of abusing the badge, trying to coerce them into sex acts for years. They said Estenson asked teens for sexual favors to avoid underage drinking citations and threatened to plant evidence on one teen if she told anyone. Still another teen said Estenson sexually assaulted her. He couldn't be trusted as a police officer, and he can't be trusted as state senator.
With the right tools and a little hard work, you can do it yourself. And with the right kind of paint, you can finish the job faster. Pittsburgh Paints and Stains exceeds your expectations with products that can cover your walls in one coat. So instead of another coat of paint, you can finally get outside. One coat paint means time better spent. Pittsburgh Paints and Stains, exclusively at Menards.
There's case after case. Women working for Tim Michaels Construction Company saying they were groped, sexually assaulted, and pressured to have sex with their bosses. When they resisted, they say they were threatened, called a liar, and forced to resign. And when co-workers spoke up, they were fired. If this is how Tim Michaels runs his business, how do you think he'd run the state? Tim Michaels' radical agenda is so very, very wrong.
CityCam 8 is brought to you by the Board Store. A new entry door is like a smile on the face of your home. As the only Pro Via Platinum dealer in the area, the Board Store can help you design the door that welcomes you home. Thank you for watching News 8 Now. Our community, your station.
Xcel Energy is sending support to Florida as Hurricane Ian makes landfall. According to the company, 270 contract workers from 8 states are on their way. Now, 14 volunteer workers are from Wisconsin, with another 9 more Wisconsinites on standby. Xcel is part of a mutual assistance program that helps speed up power restoration after U.S. major storms. Tonight, Florida is taking a direct hit from Ian, now one of the most powerful storms in U.S. history. It is expected to dump more than a foot of rain in some places, along with devastating 12-foot storm surge. Jason Allen reports from Tampa.
Much of Florida is hunkered down for what may be one of the most severe weather events in U.S. history. Hurricane Ian is now churning its way across the state after making landfall as a Category 4 storm on Wednesday. Ian came ashore shortly after 3 p.m. just west of the city of Fort Myers. Peak wind speeds were measured at 150 miles an hour, tying it as the 5th strongest hurricane ever to hit the country. As night fell, more than 1 million homes and businesses were without power, a number officials feared would grow much higher. They also said emergency services had been suspended in some areas.
First responders will deploy as soon as it's safe to do so.
More than 2.5 million people were under evacuation orders as Ian approached. It's unclear how many stayed put to ride it out.
If it is calm outside, you may be in the eye of the storm.
Forecasters predicted severe flooding as the storm creeps inland.
So it's going to take 24 hours or so once it makes landfall to make it to the other side of the state across the peninsula. So it's 24 hours of rainfall, 24 hours of winds pushing the water.
Ian is expected to lose some of its intensity overnight, but the National Hurricane Center says it will likely inundate northern Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina through the weekend. Jason Allen, CBS News, Tampa.
Rescue workers from FEMA, the Red Cross, and other agencies have been pre-positioned to get into those hardest hit areas once the storm passes. But Eric, we can't help but sit back here and just feel for those people. I know that they're not new to hurricanes, but man, Ian's nasty.
Absolutely, and I mentioned this earlier. I have a friend that's actually in Fort Myers, and her station put her up in a hotel, and they had to get out the first 2 floors because it was starting to flood. So yeah, very scary situation down there, nonetheless. But here we're dealing with something else, and that is a frost warning, or a frost advisory and a freeze warning. Here's a look at the map. So from Buffalo County to Alameda County over towards Richland County, That's where you have that frost advisory. It starts at 1 o'clock in the morning and goes until 8 a.m. The area is shaded in this lighter blue color. So this is Jackson County, Monroe County, Juneau County, Adams County. You guys are under a freeze warning from 1 a.m. until 8 a.m. And the reason being, some places could see temperatures going in the upper 20s. Look at Black River Falls right now, 32 degrees, 34 in Sparta, 34 in Volkfield, 45 in Viroqua, 46 across. Eau Claire, good evening to you guys. You're at 40, 43 is the current temperature in Winona. You take a look at that feels like temperature, the wind chill still feels like freezing in Black River Falls, but you go to La Crosse, it's 43, 43 Winona, 39 Red Wing, 40 in Eau Claire, 41 over towards Decorah. Here's the temp tracker. Now watch the temperature as we go into your evening and overnight hours, especially towards the Black River Falls area. And I want to go ahead and turn my telestrator on here and follow me as we take a look at this. So we start the clock and take a look here at 3 a.m. Look at Black River Falls, 31 degrees. It barely gets to 30 as we go into the 7 o'clock time frame. Some computer models have you guys get to about 27, 28 degrees, hence why that freeze warning is out. So here's the game plan for the evening and overnight hours. If you're in that freeze warning, cover your plants, let the faucets drip, and bring those pets inside. If you're under the frost advisory, more or less the same story. Bring in your potted plants, cover your sensitive plants, and make sure you check on your pets. Outside right now, we have clear skies. 46 degrees is the current temperature. It feels like 43. Winds are out of the east-southeast at 6 miles per hour. Numbers for today made it to 62 after a morning start of 33. 70 is where we should be for this time of year. 89 was the record high set back in 1904. We have a clean sweep on the radar scan. High pressure is large and in charge, so you can see literally the track of everything is just going up and over, no, not that way, across the Cooley region, but you get the gist of where everything is going. It's just going up and over as that dome is still in control. So when you wake up in the morning, temperatures in the 20s and 30s will greet you. We'll see a little bit of cloud cover as we go into the afternoon and early evening hours. The next 8 days has temperatures staying in the 60s and 70s. Hey, there's the Oktoberfest forecast. 65 for Thursday, 69 Friday, 71 for Saturday. The parade, I'm giving it 2 thumbs up right now. Just maybe take a light jacket, but still not bad whatsoever. Then our next chance of rain, Amy, is going to be Wednesday with a high of 66.
You're going to be everyone's favorite meteorologist with that Oktoberfest forecast, Eric.
I hope so.
If you're not already their favorite. All right, thanks so much. Coming up in sports, the UWL women's soccer team in action at home tonight. Plus, the DeSoto football team has been adjusting to 8-man football this season. So far good for the Pirates. Rob's in next with sports.
News 8 Sports is brought to you by Mayo Clinic Health System. Whether you need routine care or treatment for a complex condition, Mayo Clinic Health System has convenient and safe options for the care you and your family need.
They're destroying America and our livelihoods. Now, DC elites are spending big on Brad Paff. The same Beltway bigwigs who wasted taxpayer money that bailed out elite golf courses and luxury hotels are now bankrolling Brad Paff's campaign because Brad Paff supported their big spending, price-hiking, reckless schemes. And that's why we can't send him to Washington. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, now during truck season, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories. Visit HometownChevy.com.
On crime, Tony Evers broke his promise. Evers released hundreds of violent criminals from prison. Murderers, child rapists, back on our streets. Evers broke his promise. Now we're less safe than ever.
Tim Michels took an oath to protect America, and that's what he'll do as governor. Michels will put more police on the street, fire weak prosecutors, and keep criminals behind bars. Strength and leadership. Tim Michels for governor.
Nice welcomes you. Nice has your back. Nice laughs at your jokes. Nice goes out of its way just to make sure. At Western National Insurance, nice is more than, well, nice. It's our whole deal. And when you experience it, it's pretty nice. Western National Insurance. The power of nice.
News 8 Now Sports is brought to you by Mayo Health System. Here's News 8 Now's Rob Schiff.
We're more than halfway through the high school football season now. Whether there are 11 men on the field or 8, the DeSoto Pirates continue to just win. A perfect record so far this season. 5-0 on the year for a squad that's been asked to change the way they play. And after 5 weeks, the Pirates have answered the bell. The transition to 8-man football in DeSoto started with the JV team a couple of years ago. So a lot of players on this year's varsity squad came into the season with some level of 8-man experience, and that's definitely helped with the transition. It's a different game. The players and coaches say a lot more points are scored, and the mistakes are magnified because of the shorter distance and fewer players on the field. But for the Pirates, they say it's a challenge they've enjoyed embracing, and the players say the choice to stay was actually theirs.
At first, the coaches came and asked us, they were like, we want to know what you guys want to do. If you guys want to go co-op with Viroqua, or do you guys want to stay with us? And we want to be your coaches. And every kid looked in the room and smiled at each other and said, heck yeah. You know, we love our coaches and we just love working with each other. We've had that synergy since this tall, you know, kindergarten, and now we're here.
They asked us if we wanted to co-op with another team or do 8-man. We all looked at each other and we're like, we're not joining another team. We're going to stick with our coaches and friends. This is my family.
It was more of a transition, I think, for the coaches than the kids. You know, the kids, it's still football, and they're really catching on to it.
The Pirates will look to keep that perfect record intact as they host Kickapoo Lafarge on Friday night. NFL news, Sunday night's game between the Chiefs and Buccaneers could be moved to U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis this weekend. As of now, the plan is for the game to be played in Tampa, but the Buccaneers players and staff have evacuated because of effects from Hurricane Ian. U.S. Bank Stadium is available this weekend, with the Vikings being overseas in London to take on the Saints. Let's go to the pitch. The UWL women's soccer team has been red hot to start the year. Big test for the Eagles tonight at home, hosting Wartburg, and in the second half, the home team strikes first. Ainsley Allen at the net. She puts it in. Perfect pass from Ellie Arndt. It's 1-0 Eagles, but 5 minutes later, the Knights answer back. Corner kick for Wartburg, and Lauren Kirkle heads it home. Great execution by the Knights. Ties this game up at 1. Eagles trying to respond on the other end. Claire Cater, she gets a good look, but her shot sails just wide of the net. And with time running out, the Knights almost grabbed the lead here, but it goes off the top post. Good back and forth battle between these two teams tonight as the Eagles and Knights finish in a 1-1 tie. Brewers needing every win that they can get to keep their playoff hopes alive, and Hunter Renfroe gets things started tonight for the Crew at home against St. Louis. Tyrone Taylor scores right here to make it 1-0 Milwaukee. And then in the 6th, how about some insurance? Keston Hira provides it. He finds the gap in left center. That's going to be trouble. It rolls all the way to the wall. Luis Arias scores to make it 2-0 Brewers. Brandon Woodruff, he was dominant again for the Crew. 4th straight start with at least 10 Ks. Woody coming through in the clutch. And then in the 7th, bases loaded for the Cars, but check out the defense here. 6, 4, 3, double play. Brewers get out of the jam. They tack on 3 more in the 8th, and they get a much-needed win. 5-1 the final over St. Louis. So could the Cubbies help out the Brewers for a 2nd straight night? You bet. In the 5th, 2 on for Christopher Morel, and the rookie does it again. Deep drive to left. That's a 3-run blast. Chicago takes the lead 4-1. And for the 2nd straight night, the Cubs help out the Brewers. They get the win 4-2. So the Crew now just a half game back of that 3rd and final wild card spot. Me and Ken were talking about it earlier at 6. The Brewers have an easy schedule on paper. They have 7 games remaining, all against bad teams at home. So if they want to get it done, they got to win these games.
So what's more important, being at home or the other team's record?
I think a little bit of both. With that home cooking, you know, they got the fans on their side and their bad teams.
And the fans want this, right? They have such a strong fan base that, that'll
it's going to be fun. Fun last week.
And we're going to talk about an awesome school. Stay with us.
Dear gas prices, my lineup brings serious savings. We got this. Toyota Hybrids.
Get 2.49% APR for 48 months on Toyota's most popular 2022 models. Toyota. Let's go places.
Violent crime up across Wisconsin. Families nervous about their safety.
Yet Mandela Barnes called for releasing half of Wisconsin's jailed inmates. That would mean releasing over 10,000 criminals right into our neighborhoods. 10,000 reasons your family would be in more danger. Barnes also supported defunding the police. 10,000 more criminals with fewer police to protect us. What could go wrong? Wisconsin Truth Bank is responsible for the content of this advertising.
When the insurance company knows that Bygoff and Rohde is on the other side, they know they're in for a fight. They know that if they're not being fair with our client, they're going to find themselves in court, which is the last place they want to end up. So many attorneys will take in a case, but they won't go to court. That's the only way you can hold an insurance company accountable to make certain that you're getting the compensation that you deserve for the injuries you've suffered. And that's how Bygoff and Rohde gets results for its clients.
Meet Brad Paff. He never had a job outside of politics. Seriously, he hung around long enough to climb that political ladder. He'll never fix Washington. He won't even try. Me, I spent 26 years fighting for our country. I served as a Navy SEAL, and I know how to get things done. I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message. Let's try something different. Let's change the people we're sending to D.C.
Hypnotize your way to savings.
Breathing techniques to help you save.
Looking to make saving a habit?
Yeah, what's the secret?
No secret. Just open a savings account at BMO and we'll give you a cash reward for every month you save.
A cash reward?
Just for saving?
Mm-hmm. And when you open a checking account, we'll give you a $300 bonus to get your new savings habit started.
Love that.
What's your book?
How to get a $300 bonus and a monthly cash reward for saving with BMO.
He literally wrote the book on saving.
That's me on the cover.
When a bank helps you make real financial progress, that's the BMO effect.
Dear gas prices, my lineup brings serious savings. We got this. Toyota Hybrids.
Get 2.49% APR for 48 months on Toyota's most popular 2022 models. Toyota. Let's go places.
A celebration is in order for a Holman Elementary School. Prairie View Elementary is a Blue Ribbon Award winner, which means it provides an exemplary education to its students. The school celebrated today with a blue ribbon cutting ceremony and some guest speakers. Teachers super excited about this award, and they say it shows how great this Prairie View student body is.
It just goes to show like how dedicated the staff is here, how dedicated the students are to learning, and just the amazing collaboration we have here.
Pretty cool. According to staff, Prairie View is one of 8 Wisconsin schools to receive this national award. Congratulations. We'll be right back with a final check of your forecast.
Did you know Tim Michels wants to criminalize abortion, even for pregnant rape victims?
But are you willing to support exceptions for rape or incest?
That's correct. Is that the kind of divisive radical you want as your guy?
The power to change your future is now. The SUVs are here. Be one of the first to drive a new Explorer, Bronco Sport, or Edge. Custom order your SUV today. Lock in 2.9% financing for 60 months, plus 500 retail order bonus cash on a new 2023 Ford Explorer, Bronco Sport, or Edge.
Wisconsin is a home of workers. We know what needs to get done, and we do it. Yet, we've been hit hard, some harder than others. Our contact may be limited, but we still can lift each other up. The Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy providers are working together to help keep your heat and power on. You may not ask for it, but we want you to know we're here.
The radical left hate America and riot in our streets. They indoctrinate our children to hate America, stoking fear and envy with their lies and deceptions. Their radical woke agenda and divisive politics are tearing our country apart. Here's Mandela Barnes.
Because the founder of this nation, awful.
Mandela Barnes is a radical leftist. He supports their woke agenda that's causing you and your family so much pain.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Change it up and choose Dutch Boy from Menards. Get the best quality Dutch Boy paints at the best prices. Pick out the perfect color. We offer free custom color matching and tinting to create thousands of color options. And with Dutch Boy's easy opening, smooth pouring container, and no prep, no prime formula, transforming your home has never been easier. Save 11% on all Dutch Boy paints now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards. Did you know Tim Michaels wants to criminalize abortion, even for pregnant rape victims?
But are you willing to support exceptions for rape or incest?
That's correct.
Is that the kind of divisive radical you want as your governor?
Oktoberfest, 60s and 70s for the 3-day weekend.
Maybe you should be Festmaster. Have a good night.